They told you trucks just haul stuff from point A to point B, and that is the job. That is the lie sold to justify decades of soul-crushing mediocrity. But nobody told these rogue engineers to play along. What they built instead exposes the lazy stagnation of modern engineering, with jet engines bolted to semi-trucks and tires as tall as your house. We are looking at a monster truck functioning as a limousine and 10 machines proving corporate standards are a joke. They did not just fix the industry's stagnation. They built machines that show exactly how much has been held back. Coming in at number 10 is the Walmart Wave, built in 2014 to catch the world off guard. WAVE stands for Walmart Advanced Vehicle Experience, which means they built a truck from the future. Piloting this rig puts you dead center in the cab, exactly like a race car, abandoning the tired side seat layout. Large carbon fiber panels form the trailer to slash weight and mock standard steel rigs, while aerodynamics slice through the air to save enormous amounts of fuel on every trip. Walmart called it a learning platform for the future, but it actually proved the truck industry had been sleeping at the wheel for 50 years. One retail giant built a spaceship while the rest of the industry was still driving metal boxes, and that gap is highly noticeable. Luigi Colani was an industrial designer from Germany who spent decades refusing to accept boring designs, and his answer sits at number 9. In the early 2000s, he built the Colani space truck with a sweeping curved dome of glass for a windshield. The wipers spin in a full circle like a ceiling fan instead of moving left and right like every other truck ever made. The entire cab looks like someone dropped a spaceship onto a chassis, and the surprising part is that it actually worked. That wild shape cut through air better than most conventional trucks, making people stop on highways to stare. Colani did not build it to fit in. He built it to prove everyone else was thinking too small with his one uncompromising vision. If these machines are catching your attention, subscribe right now. There are 8 more on this list, and they only get wilder from here. At number 8, we are looking at a full-blown rebellion rather than a single truck. Dekotora started in Japan in the 1970s because drivers looked at their miserable factory-standard working rigs and refused to accept the boredom. They strapped on neon, bolted heavy chrome, and hung actual crystal chandeliers inside the cab to build rolling nightclubs that escape the monotony of the job. At night, a Dekotora rig rolling down a Japanese highway stops traffic completely, with thousands of blinking lights and polished metal reflecting everything. This represents a driver who takes deep pride in his truck, proving blue-collar work does not have to look bleak. This trend is still alive today and growing more extreme every year, meaning somewhere right now, a driver is adding one more light to an already perfect machine. Landing at number 7 is proof that monster trucks simply were not extreme enough. Brad and Jen Campbell decided to turn a monster truck into a limousine, so they built the Sin City Hustler. It measures 32 feet long, weighs 15,000 pounds, and pushes over 750 horsepower with enough seats for 12 passengers inside. 12 people can ride through the Las Vegas desert in a monster truck together, and you can book a ticket to do this right now. The Sin City Hustler holds the official Guinness World Record as the longest monster truck ever built. The Campbells did not just build something unusual, they turned their ambitious idea into a highly successful tourist attraction. The most unusual failure in truck history sits at number 6. In 1939, scientists wanted to conquer Antarctica, so they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars building the Antarctic Snow Cruiser. It was 56 feet long, with tires 10 feet tall, and it even carried a small airplane on the roof. The whole world watched it load onto a ship and sail toward the frozen south. But the second it touched the snow, it got completely stuck. The tires were completely smooth, with zero grip, ruining the entire expedition immediately. All that engineering and budget just sat there spinning in the snow, because they failed to account for traction on ice. They never fixed it, and the snow cruiser was abandoned and buried beneath decades of ice. The ice shelf it sat on broke off in the 1960s, meaning this expensive piece of engineering most likely sank to the bottom of the ocean. According to Guinness World Records, number 5 is officially the largest monster truck ever made, known as Bigfoot 5. Built in 1986, this machine weighs 38,000 pounds, making it heavier than most city buses. The tires came straight off an old military Arctic snow vehicle, and each one stands 10 feet tall. If you walk up to one of those tires and stretch your arm out, your fingertips might barely reach the middle of the wheel. The truck is so enormous it cannot jump over cars at shows because it was designed exclusively as a display vehicle and is simply too heavy to safely jump. It just stands there, yet crowds are continually impressed by its presence. When a vehicle is this heavily built, it does not need to perform tricks because the sheer size is the entire show. If you are enjoying this list, hit like right now. It helps push this video to more people who should see what is coming. Taking the number 4 spot, Volvo completely ignored the traditional rules of what a semi-truck is allowed to be. The Volvo Iron Knight holds the record as the fastest diesel semi-truck on the planet, after driver Boja Overbrink pushed this machine to 171 miles per hour in 2016. This is a semi-truck hitting a speed that defies standard diesel logic. It runs on 2,400 horsepower and is driven by 4 turbochargers, all firing at once. 0 to 60 happens in 4.6 seconds, which is faster than most modern sports cars. Volvo built this specifically to expose what diesel power could achieve when builders stopped playing it safe. They stopped asking what a truck was approved to do and started asking what it was physically capable of doing. The resulting performance numbers left the competition far behind. Number 3 pushes the limits of engineering. The BelAZ 75710 was built in Belarus in 2013 and exists for exactly one purpose, which is to carry what nothing else can carry. Fully loaded, this dump truck weighs 810 tons, and each tire stands 13 feet tall. Moving all that weight requires 2 heavy-duty industrial diesel engines running simultaneously at absolute maximum throttle. It hauls 450 tons of raw earth in a single load. This truck does not drive on roads because standard asphalt would instantly disintegrate under its tread. It lives in deep mining pits to do a job no other machine on Earth can handle. They built it for one specific task and perfected the design, completely ignoring standard weight limits in the process. Number 2 cost one man 7 years and $7 million just to prove the industry wrong. Mike Hara took a classic Peterbilt truck and flat out refused to stop building, dropping in 2 V12 engines and bolting on 12 superchargers. They sit right on top of the hood like a mechanical altar, bringing the final output to nearly 4,000 horsepower. The truck stretches 44 feet and is covered in chrome skulls, hand-forged swords, and exhaust pipes wider than your own arm that shoot actual fire at full throttle. Every single detail was custom made, and nothing on this truck came off a corporate shelf. In 2019, Thor 24 sold at auction for $12 million. That fortune bought a highly unique vehicle, and after seeing it up close, you completely understand the value of 7 years of sweat poured into one machine. Number 1 is less of a truck and more of an aerospace project. The Shockwave Jet Truck took a Peterbilt cab and strapped 3 actual jet engines from aircraft to the back. The combined output reached 36,000 horsepower, and it holds the official world record for the fastest jet-powered truck ever built by hitting 376 miles per hour. When igniting its afterburners, this machine shoots flames up to 120 feet behind it and blasts thick walls of smoke across everything within range. When the run is over and the driver needs to stop, normal brakes are not enough because they would simply melt. Instead, they fire 2 heavy-duty parachutes out the back to drag the speed down from 376 miles per hour to 0. The Shockwave ignored what a truck was supposed to do and just went faster than anyone thought possible. From a retail giant designing the future in a wind tunnel, to a 3-engine jet truck that needed military parachutes just to stop, every machine on this list started with someone who refused to accept the standard limits sold by corporations. These engineers looked at what a truck was supposed to be and decided the status quo was not good enough. That uncompromising spirit built every single one of these unique vehicles. The standard truck manufacturers sell you the same boring metal boxes year after year because it is safe, cheap, and easy. If these machines expose the truth about what is actually possible, subscribe right now. We have plenty more records and proof that the best builders never settle for average.